The title of this week's Nutgraf is Shine On You Crazy Diamond. That's SHEIN. So the rumors were true. And I quote this article from TechCrunch titled Shein app relaunches in India with Reliance partnership. Here's the article. Quote, Chinese fast fashion platform Shein has relaunched in India through a partnership with local conglomerate Reliance's retail chain nearly 5 years after Shein was banned among diplomatic tensions between New Delhi and Beijing. The new Shein India fast fashion app, developed and launched by billionaire Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Retail, marks the firm's significant return to one of Asia's largest retail markets ahead of the Chinese firm's much anticipated public listing later this year. The app's revival comes under stringent conditions that give Reliance complete control over operations and data. Under the partnership structure, disclosed recently by India's Commerce Ministry, Shein will operate purely as a technology partner, with Reliance maintaining full ownership of the platform through its subsidiary. The arrangement requires all customer data to be stored in India, with Shein having no access rights. End quote. For all practical purposes, this translates to Reliance owning Shein in India now. Reliance owns Shein's mobile app. Reliance keeps all of the data of India's users. Reliance manages the entire supply chain, from inventory, operations, and products, all of which are apparently sourced, designed, and manufactured locally in India. And in return, Shein gets a licensing fee paid by Reliance for using the Shein brand name. At the face of it, the conventional wisdom is that this is a big win for Reliance and Shein got the worst end of the bargain. I think there's some merit in this, but the more I think about it, the more I'm unsure about it. If anything, this deal makes the most amount of sense for Shein, and I'm left wondering what Reliance is getting out of all this. Back in 2022, just before India banned Shein, along with several other Chinese apps like TikTok, the ostensible reason that was provided by the Indian government was that these apps were, and I quote, prejudicial to sovereignty and integrity of India, defense of India, security of state, and public order, end quote. Okay, that sounds like serious stuff. It's not like Shein could have come to the Indian government in 2025 and said, we note all your concerns and we spent the last 3 years fixing them, so can you please let us back in? This is not like Shein missed conforming to some license requirement or some FDI requirement or some marketplace inventory press note that they can just fix with some lawyers and corporate restructuring. Shein wasn't suspended. It was expelled. And now, 3 years into the exile, one fine day, you get a call from the mightiest Indian company who call you and then say, please let us use your name and brand in India for the next few years. We'll do all the work. We'll even build your app. You don't need to do anything. Oh, and we'll send you a big fat check every month. If you're Shein and you're banished for life, you'd be tempted to say, sure, why not? I mean, earlier Shein was operating in India and making some money. Then it got stopped from operating in India and couldn't make any money. Now it's still not operating in India, but it's getting paid money. At least one Shein executive deserves a big promotion here. But maybe you could flip the whole thing around and then say, no, Reliance actually got a much better deal, because Reliance is really going to take Shein to the next level in India, and that check it's writing to Shein for the license isn't really that big or fat as we think. In this deal, Reliance has all the leverage, not Shein. There's some evidence for this. Shein isn't in a great place right now. It's doing quite well in China, but everywhere else across the world, it's actually on the back foot. In the same week that Shein re-entered India via Reliance, it faced increased pressure and scrutiny from two massive markets, the EU and the United States. It's quite rare, especially these days, for Europe and US to agree on anything. But in this case, They found a common enemy in the same week: Shein. First, the United States Postal Services announced that it would stop accepting packages from China, which it later backtracked and reversed. This order, signed by President Donald Trump, levied additional tariffs on all Chinese imports into the country and specifically targeted smaller value packages that e-commerce company in China shipped to the USA. And who loses the most from this deal? Shein, of course. And Tuesday, America sneezed, and by the next day, Europe caught the cold. Here's the story from CNBC titled Temu Shein targeted as EU cracks down on unsafe e-commerce imports. And I quote the two relevant paragraphs. Quote, Chinese online marketplace Temu and fast fashion retailer Shein will be liable for the sale of unsafe and dangerous products on their platforms, the European Commission said on Wednesday as part of a crackdown against a flood of cheap e-commerce imports into the European Union. The EU executive also said it would coordinate a joint investigation by the Consumer Protection Cooperation Network of national consumer authorities into Shein based on suspicions that the company infringes EU consumer protection rules. End quote. Of course, Europe put their own European spin on their reasons for the crackdown. One of the concerns raised by the EU was that the number of packages that were shipped by Shein to Europe had a, and I quote, negative impact on the environment and climate, end quote. However, the countermeasures they recommended were practically identical. They were going to add a handling fee to meet the cost of, quote, supervising these imports from China. So Shein now has to pay extra for the privilege of shipping products to consumers in Europe and US, while it gets paid by Reliance for doing the exact same thing on its behalf in India. If you are Shein, you have had quite a bizarre week. Things got so bad that Shein had to degrade the valuation of its planned IPO in the UK to a paltry $50 billion. How sad. Of course, this is also why it's worth asking, why don't companies in the EU and the US simply follow the Indian model? What's stopping, say, Walmart or Inditex to do exactly what Reliance did? Pay Shein for the license and sell products under its brand in the US and Europe. It's not like they don't have the muscle. Walmart is the biggest retailer in the world, and Inditex, which owns Zara, is the world's biggest apparel retailer. If it makes sense for Reliance, then surely it would make sense for them too. Shein clearly has great consumer demand and a brand name in all of these markets, just like how it did in India. So why not just pay for the brand and just run operations locally? I mean, problem solved, you'd think. Well, as it turns out, they can't do it for a good reason. And that's because Shein is not Shein because of its brand. Shein's dominance comes down to three things. First, Shein can create, test, and scale styles at a pace faster than anyone else in the world. People call this fast fashion, but Shein has taken it to a whole new level. Companies like Boohoo, Fashion Nova, Zara, and H&M, they take like few weeks to do this, but Shein can do it in about 5 to 6 days. It adds 6,000 new items online every day. Most of it is driven by sophisticated algorithms that track multiple websites and social media to figure out what's trending. Speed is everything in fast fashion. And if you can catch trends faster than others, you win. Second, Shein can do this cheaper than everybody else. This is where China's manufacturing machine comes in. Shein also gets tax benefits, lower costs of labor, and massive centralized subsidized warehouses in China, from where it can ship products all over the world in small packages, taking advantage of duty-free exceptions. One report suggested that the average cost of a Shein branded clothing item was less than £8 in the UK, which is much lower than comparable fast fashion brands. But the third reason why Shein is winning is because of an app you may have heard of. It's called TikTok. A lot of fashion companies have tried to figure out social media, but nobody has managed to do what Shein has done with TikTok. It's not a coincidence that Shein's growth and dominance in the world closely follows the growth and dominance of TikTok. Influencers on TikTok are well known for Shein hauls, where they make video after video, reviewing, sharing, and talking about all the stuff that they've ordered and bought on Shein. This was instrumental in Shein doing what Shein did. Speaking of TikTok, here's a fascinating parallel to drive the point home. Now, TikTok in the US is going through a parallel universe version of what Shein is going through in India. After a brief ban, TikTok is now under significant pressure to sell its app if it wants to continue to operate in the US. Now, the reasons why the US wants to stop TikTok from operating in the US are exactly the same reasons why India stopped Shein from operating in India. Concerns over national security and data sharing back to China. And America's solutions are eerily similar. TikTok must sell or license itself to an American company. Now, what makes TikTok special is its recommendation algorithm, which is currently controlled by its Chinese parent company, ByteDance. And ByteDance has refused to part with that. So this raises the question for American companies like Microsoft, Oracle, or even Elon Musk, who are all in the running to buy TikTok. Maybe one of those deals will happen, but all of them have one question in their mind that's giving them pause and hesitation. If you strip TikTok away from its recommendation algorithm, is TikTok even TikTok? Or is it just another short form app? All of this brings me back to Reliance. Reliance does not have access to Shein's supply chain that it has built over decades in China that enables it to make products at prices lower than everybody else. Reliance does not have access to Shein's manufacturers. Reliance does not have access to TikTok. Put another way, what is Reliance doing with Shein that it couldn't have done with, say, Ajio? Maybe Shein is providing some intelligence about what to make, but Reliance still has to figure out a way to make it like Shein does. And it needs to do that in India, where no such capabilities currently exist. If you take Shein and you remove its supply chain and the manufacturing and its social media partner, what is left? Is it even Shein? This episode of the Nutgraf is recorded by me, Praveen Gopal Krishnan. The entire newsletter can be found on our website at theken.com. Credits also to our resident sound engineer, Rajiv CN. If you like this and you have ideas, feedback, or anything else, just write to me. My email address is Praveen, that's Praven, @theken.com. Tell me what you thought, and I'll be back again next week.